Hey everybody, welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Much like last week when we talked about distracted driving, I'm going to do a revisit, and the topic this week is centered on mental health and, to an extent, suicide in construction. Now, I'm sure everybody knows that this is a really hot topic in the safety community right now. I know that a friend of mine, Mandy Keim, who works for the AGC of Washington, has really been a trailblazer on this topic, and she's traveling all over the country delivering presentations on mental health. And I don't think it takes anybody unusual to be able to look around and identify the examples of mental health issues that we have in society. We see it with people's behaviors in social media. All you have to do is turn on the news and it's just murder, killing, gunshots, police being shot at or run over, whatever it might be. We have a serious mental health issue in the United States. And when I look at the construction industry specifically, there's some things about the construction market. Now, I know everybody doesn't work in construction, and I think mental health is prevalent across all jobs, all industries, and all people in the United States, let alone probably globally. But when we look at the construction sector, the reason I bring it up is that the suicide rate in construction is 6 times that of the average of all industries. So there's a prevalence of suicide in construction, and we feel like that suicide rate, it points directly at mental health. And now mental health, there's a scale of what you would consider a mental health issue or crisis. And it varies from mild anxiety in people to extreme depression, personality disorders. There are a lot of examples, and I'm not an expert in mental health, but obviously drug use and abuse, and those things can all exacerbate the mental health issues. So this is a situation, an issue that we're dealing with in society that is a very serious and grave concern. And I know I had the honor in early March of being a moderator at the American Clean Power Operations Maintenance and Safety Conference on mental health and suicide. And unfortunately, I got really sick and couldn't travel. So our director of field operations, Corey Reedhead, took that over for me. But we had a panel of 5 industry experts in safety in the renewable energy industry who spoke to what they're doing with their companies around this topic. And I think that I know that I don't have all the solutions by any means, but I think that the approach that we should all be thinking about and use is awareness, talking about this topic. If we start to talk about it and make this discussion safe and acceptable for people, then the likelihood they're going to share their concerns, their issues, their challenges is much greater. And if we're able to talk about those things, then that's a start. Now, once we have identified a need, then there are a lot of resources out there that we can utilize or point to in order to help treat the source of or cause of the issue and potentially help people get back to some form of normalcy. So again, I think to an extent, all of us probably deal with some level of anxiety, and there's a spectrum or a scale from mild to extreme, and people lie somewhere in between those two. And again, the more that we can talk about it, create an awareness around it, the better. I know that we measure construction fatalities in Washington State every year, just like other states and OSHA do. But the numbers that we get are real time, meaning that throughout the year, we know of recent fatalities. And on average, the last 4 or 5 years, about a third of our construction fatalities have been mental health or suicide. Mental health example would be drug overdoses on the job, and then suicide would be just that, somebody committing suicide when they go to work. Not sure the reasons for that, but obviously those numbers are alarming, and I think it's something that we should all talk about. I'd be happy to share whatever resources I have. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to connect with you and send you the resources I've collected. But I think this is a topic that definitely warrants us having discussions around it. And I'm not just saying a toolbox talk or a quick safety meeting and we're done with it. I think that this is a topic that we're talking about as often as we are other key topics in our industry. So hopefully that's helpful, and we'll see you next Wednesday.